Hello and welcome to another episode of the Real Estate Investing Club. I'm your host, Gabe Peterson, and this is the place investors go to gain actionable advice, learn about current market trends, and hear war stories from other professional investors out there in the field today. Before we get started, I have two quick housekeeping items for you. First, if you like this episode, we would very much appreciate a like, subscribe, and share. It is the best way to support the show and keep it running far into the future. Second, if you're a new investor looking to get started in real estate or an experienced investor looking to take your investing to the next level, I've created an ebook just for you that will cover how to find deals that are actually deals, how to finance those deals with little to no money down, and how to exit those deals for maximum value. On top of that, I throw in an insane amount of free bonuses that you'll have access to once you buy the ebook. All I charge is our admin costs to keep this show running. So if you're serious about real estate investing and want to create both active and passive income as an investor, head on over to the website at therealestateinvestingclub.com and click on the button that says get the ebook in the upper right-hand corner to grab yourself a copy. With that said, let's dive right in. Today we have a very special guest with us, ready to drop some investor knowledge on you. So buckle up, grab your pen and paper, and enjoy the ride. All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Real Estate Investing Club. Today we have Deren Huang with us. Deren is an investor out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. He has over 100 residential units, and he's been eyeing the industrial side of investing, and which is something I've been doing too. So I am super excited to have you here. Deren, thanks for hopping on the show.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. Really excited to be here.
Absolutely. I told you before we got started, we like to start with stories. We like to hear how people got to where they are. So why don't you take us back to the beginning? How'd you get started in real estate?
Yeah, so I got licensed in 2016. I was just going to be a broker. I thought I was going to be in residential, showing people houses, making dreams come true. And then, maybe I could start a team and then own a brokerage as that career path kind of transpired. But it wasn't until 2017, I actually picked up my first investor client, and basically my world got flipped upside down.
No pun intended.
Yeah, basically. So, I didn't know that people would just always be looking to buy homes, and that it wasn't an emotional, response. It was very mathematical. Hey, if the money is there, if the value add is there, if the return is there, I'm going to buy whatever. And so, being without having any kids and being very fresh and having a ton of time, I just went ahead and I just dove deep and helped that client out.
Nice, man. I love it. So that, I feel like a lot of people do get into real estate. They watch HGTV, they watch the flipper flop or whatever, and they always think that if you want to do real estate, you have to either be an agent or you have to do flipping. And so you saw, having that experience with the investor client, I'm sure you saw a lot of different experience, different types of real estate investing that you can do. What did you choose once you had that, first contact?
Yeah, and so he was primarily in single family homes, and he was doing the burst strategy. And
Okay.
at that point, I had no idea what that was. I thought it was just you're going to flip or you're going to buy and hold. I didn't know there was a strategy where you can refinance and recycle that money. And for me, I didn't grow up with a lot of construction background, and so that was kind of the biggest challenge that he kind of sideways mentored me in showing. So basically, whenever I would show him a house, I just asked him, hey, listen, could you talk out loud and tell me what you're thinking and tell me the vision of this and how much it would cost? And basically having that sideways mentor, as I say, just kind of propelled me forward into my first investment at the end of 2017.
It is so crucial to have those initial investments. Guys, we've said this so many times on the podcast. If you're just getting started, find somebody you can emulate. Find somebody who can kind of show you the ropes, because man, it is hard if you don't have some kind of ladder, some kind of blueprint that you can follow. Especially, you said the construction side. I totally feel you there. I started in flips, and man, it is hard if you haven't grown up in construction. It's just there's so much you need to know. So that's not where you stopped, though. You got started in the flips, and from there, what happened moving forward?
Yeah. So without a lot of capital, with more time and some context, I was using a lot of creative financing. But yeah, basically in the single family homes, I would like to do either seller carrybacks or seller carries. I also really liked using lease with purchases, and using hard money to, either using my own money to lease out the property and then cash flow it and then purchase it later to then refinance it. But yeah, 2017, I made that first investment. It was a small home, 1,000 square feet. I bought it for $75,000. Went way over budget, made all the mistakes, but now it's worth almost $180,000, renting out for I think $1,400 per month. Back then, I got about $1,000. So, yeah, once again, all those mistakes kind of were forgiven because of the time that I held.
Perfect. And you actually said something that I don't know. See, I've been in real estate for a while, and there's still strategies that I don't know about. You said lease with purchase. So that
Mhm.
means that you're leasing the property from the owner, and you don't own it yet, but you're doing the flip on the property.
Yeah, so this particular one, we bought it for $75,000, but for the first year, I said I'm going to pay your mortgage for you, in
Okay.
terms of rent. So we did a lease. So I only paid
Subject to,
400,
yeah.
maybe 500-ish, yeah, 500-ish dollars. It was a yeah, and then I was done with the renovations about 2, 3 months in, and it rented out for $1,000. So I was making that in between, and then finally, when the kind of option period was up, we
Mm,
ended up purchasing it with hard money and then taking it to the bank immediately because it was rented out, had a stable tenant, and it was prettier than it used to be. And they gave us basically all the money back.
nice.
So that was just very, very creative to be able to do.
Yeah, lease options. I love it. So that is single family. You said, in your intro, you had 100 residential units. Is that all single family, or did you get into multifamily eventually?
Yeah, so the majority of those are single families or small multis.
Wow. Okay.
We do have a small 25 unit mobile home park,
Hmm.
but that has been the bane of my existence. And that's why I've really shifted
Preach it,
into
brother.
industrial properties. Oh my goodness.
We own, or I own, two mobile home parks, and
Hmm.
yeah, there was a craze. I don't know, probably 2 years ago, there were people just loved mobile home parks, and we jumped in too, and it's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure. There's definitely a specific tenant base that goes to mobile home parks, and those can be difficult. So I feel you
Hmm.
there. You've since switched. You were in the residential, you got tired of kind of
Hmm.
fixing the toilets, that kind of thing. Now you're looking at industrial. So what
Yes.
got you to point your finger at industrial?
I love industrial. So just this past year, we bought about 100,000 square feet. And the main thing is triple net leases. Oh my goodness. I literally thought these were fake, because coming from residential, like what these leases don't make sense to me, because the triple nets are, let me kind of go back. The triple nets that you can charge back for the tenant include the property insurance, the property taxes, and then any common area maintenance. So I, as a landlord, get to charge the tenant the property taxes. And of course, in the residential world, you usually have a gross lease where the landlord is paying that. And then also, the insurance and the common area maintenance. And then in most commercial leases, they're taking care of the broken toilet, they're taking care of the broken light switch, depending on the terms.
Yep. Yeah, that's the reason that I actually started looking at it, just because of that triple net. It's so attractive.
Mhm.
So 100,000 square feet, that's a big purchase. Is it in out there
Yes.
in Tulsa, or is it in a different market?
Yeah, so it spans over 3 properties.
Oh,
One,
okay.
there are two single tenant net leases, also known as STNLs. So those just have a single tenant. They pay their rent, they pay their property insurance and taxes. So I have two of those. And then I bought a 50,000 multi-tenant industrial park. And that
Nice.
has about 15 different spaces, can be demised, and maybe it flexes from 12 to 17-ish, but averaging about 15.
Okay, cool. So talk to me like you were just getting into it. I know you started in residential and you got into industrial, so there's a lot that you had to learn.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I'm at that stage. I own self storage, I own mobile home parks, I own single family, but I've never been in industrial. So try to teach me, what were the first few things that you had to learn that were kind of new in the
Yeah.
industrial asset class that you can kind of teach me going into it.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll just kind of zoom out and just say, triple net leases are definitely one of the main drivers that I'm looking into it. But some of the macroeconomics of it include that industrial real estate is actually the largest real estate class in commercial real estate in the United States.
Really?
But yeah, once again, not a lot of people know about it. Yeah, it has almost, it's definitely not the most grossing, but spread out
Right.
per square foot
Space-wide, yeah.
is the largest. Yeah.
And I'm assuming
so
that's just the square footage of the land, not, if you were to include the vertical square footage, that'd be probably a different story, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It doesn't even include, qubit or volume wise.
Yeah.
Just because some of them now are being built with 30, 40 foot ceilings. Some of the big box tenants like Amazon and FedEx and stuff like that. But so yeah, that's one of the main reasons why is that there's still a lot of deals to be had because it is the largest one, and the spotlight's not really shown on it. But if I was kind of breaking down what industrial real estate is, it really is categorized in three different categories. The first one is warehouse and distribution. So that is like Amazon, FedEx. You have a lot of semi trucks. Maybe it's close to a port or really close to a railroad, something along those lines. And that is import, export, and they just handle a ton of boxes or food or whatever the case it may be that they're shipping. So like I said, at the very top level, that's Amazon, that's FedEx. When you go to the local level, I just did a deal with an used appliance shop. And so they get all the appliances, they fix them up, and then they send them to the retail store. Yep. So it's a little warehouse there. It's not that little, it's 20,000 square feet. So that's just a deal that I did on the local level. Okay. So warehouse. The second one is manufacturing. Now, this is kind of what you might think when it comes to industrial real estate at the very top level.
Tesla factories or something like that.
Exactly. So, Intel is making their chips. They are going to invest, I think, $20 billion into Ohio. And so that's really exciting for Ohio.
Good job, Ohio.
Good job, Ohio. And yeah, of course, Panasonic, I think, is in Kansas. They're doing a lot of the lithium batteries for Tesla and for all EVs. And then, maybe even a publicly traded company that you don't know about. Here in Tulsa, we have Kimberly-Clark. Some of the brands that they have include Huggies, Bounty, paper products.
Like Johnson & Johnson, right?
Correct. Yeah. And so they manufacture paper products, not like when I think of that, I think of Dunder Mifflin. So it's not like that, but so yeah, on the local level, that manufacturing is going to be, have a tenant that does little widgets for oil and gas. They make oil and gas parts, they make gun parts, stuff like that. So they manufacture. And then the third is called a catch-all. It's called flex. And it's exactly what you think. It's just like whatever it can be. So some of that on the upper levels might be medical facilities and research labs and stuff like that. Whereas, on the local level, some of the stuff that I have, it can either be maybe a showroom in the front, warehouse in the back, maybe it's positioned to retail or office in the front. It's just flexible and it can be whatever you want it to be. Yep.
Yeah. So that I'm glad you said that. You broke it out like that because I've never actually had it broken down to me. So warehouse, distribution, manufacturing, and flex, that makes sense. And flex also includes the things that have, it's kind of like mixed use retail where there's a retail frontage and then warehouse in the back, that kind of stuff. Yep, that makes sense. So what are, I started marketing for industrial, and then I've had conversations with industrial guys, and they use a whole bunch of things, terminology that I don't understand. One of them is like clear span. What are the things that people are looking for when, as a tenant who is leasing a property, what are they looking for in an industrial property?
Yeah, that's a great question. It really kind of varies depending on what asset within the three types that you're looking at. So let's use some of these terminologies like grade doors or dock high doors. So first and foremost, what a tenant looks for is the transportation. Is it close to an airport? Is it close to a highway? Is it close to a port if you're in a port city? And stuff like that, just because most of that warehousing distribution needs to transport. Of course, they're looking for the workforce. Is it a workforce that understands blue collar work or some of the technology behind some of those things? But also within the actual specific building itself is going to be most likely related to what they need to put in or what it needs to do. So, for example, warehouse or distribution, they usually need a lot of doors and a lot of space and a lot of height in their building, just because they have racking systems. Nowadays, there's technology and robots that help them with inventory. And then, they usually want to be close to distribution, so a highway or railroad or something like that. And so, like I mentioned before, some of the big boys like Amazon, they're building 30, 40-foot high buildings, and they need, 100, 200, 400,000 square feet. So yeah, that's obviously at the very end of that. But, for a tenant like mine, that has the used appliances, they don't really need that clear height. So mine is 20 feet tall.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mhm.
Very cool, man. I love this topic. I'd love to get further into it, but I just checked the clock and we have gone through our time, so I have to push us
Yes,
into the quick question round. Are you ready?
let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. It starts with books. I'm a big bookie, so give me two recommendations, one for general life wisdom and one for real estate specific.
Cool. So I will go for the general first. I just read a book called Transfluence by Walt Rakowicz. He was the CEO of Prologis, which is the world's largest, industrial owner. And so that's more positioned for leadership. And he led his company Prologis through the Great Recession. Their stock was like $75, dropped down to $2, and then now it's
Wow.
rebounded back. So yeah, now he led through the $2, and it's really great. So that's
Damn. Wish I
one
would have
that I
bought that
just
one.
read. Yeah, and then second one is just real estate related. I would say that I really enjoy. Let me try to think of one off the cuff. Um, I really enjoy. There's one called Industrial Intelligence. So the kind of going on the theme of industrial. It's by Justin Smith. He's a broker. The book is really positioned for the CEO or CFO, what to look for in an industrial building. And
Oh,
so
interesting.
that gives you kind of insights of what tenants are looking for. But he does a lot of like kind of the high end stuff,
Mhm.
like Amazon. He has clients like Amazon and FedEx. So industrial intelligence, if you want to dive deep into real estate, into industrial.
Perfect, man. I love it. All right, moving on. This next one is for your younger self. So if you could go back to the Deren who is just closing on that
Oh
first
boy.
deal, go back to him, look him in the eye, give him one piece of advice moving forward.
I would say your network is really your net worth. I was so busy doing deals. I was so busy on the actual non-relational parts of it, that, I really neglected some of the relationships that I should have kept up.
Yep.
And so that's one thing. Another thing is that it's just about people, man. It's all about people, even your team, even your network and people that you have. So yeah,
Yeah,
people
man. That
first.
That is timeless wisdom, and especially true here in real estate because it's amazing. Once you do start to build your network, I was the same way as you when I just got started. I was deal focused. I was only focused on the deal, and it's reasonable because you're trying to get that momentum. But once you do
Mhm.
start to really focus on the relationships, things do open up. So that is great advice for your younger self.
Yeah.
Which moves us to the next question. This is your Superman strength. We are all gifted with strengths that we uniquely give to this world. So, what is your unique strength? What are you good at?
Yeah, so I would say the unique strength that I have is looking forward in the future. I'm fairly visionary. So even when people were first starting, and colleagues that were starting to flip homes, I said, "Hey, how do I keep these homes? How do I project out in the future? And how do I not let $5,000, if the price differentiation is in about $5,000 gap, how do I overcome that?" So creative strategies and then looking towards the future are my superpower.
Perfect. Love it. Moves us to the next question. This one is mentors. None of us are islands. We all stand on the shoulders of giants. And you've already mentioned this earlier in your podcast, but give a shout out to a mentor who has contributed tremendously to your career.
Yeah, so that first guy, his name was Curtis. What an amazing person just to be able to bring me along and pick his brain. Of course, I added value to him by being able to open doors and underwriting hundreds and hundreds of deals for him and with him. But yeah, Curtis, oh my goodness, thank you so much.
Love it. All right. Second to last question. This is about the US. There are a lot of square miles out there to purchase, a lot of opportunities. So give me one metro that you are most excited about investing in today.
I try to use my competitive edge. And so I am really focused in Tulsa and the surrounding areas. So you mentioned Oklahoma City. That's about an hour and a half away from me. We're still underwriting a couple deals, but majority of it will be in a 1 hour radius within Tulsa.
Perfect, man. Your back door is the best place to invest for sure. And that leads us to the last question. You've given us a lot of good advice, so I'm sure people want to reach out. What is the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, definitely. My website is derenhuang.com, DERENHUANG.com. And if you want to sign up for my newsletter, I have all the exclusive deals there and you'll receive a free gift. So derenhuang.com, please reach out to me.
All right. And I will put that URL in the show notes. So if you guys want to reach out, just click the little more in the description. It'll pull down the full description, and in there you can find Deren's URL. So Deren, that wraps it up. I appreciate you hopping on the show.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And for everybody who is here with us today, thank you guys for showing up. You are the reason we do this. So if you guys have any questions whatsoever, reach out to me, Gabe at therealestateinvestingclub.com. And if you guys want to support us, the best way to do that is just to give us a little subscribe on the show and leave us a review on Apple. That is pretty much the only way that I ever would want to be supported on this show, because I do love what I do here. So other than that, I hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic week. Keep rocking real estate, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Real Estate Investing Club. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode as much as I enjoyed putting it on, and we're able to pull some actionable advice that you can apply in your own investing today in the field. Before you go, we have a gift for you. If you're a new investor looking to get started, or an established investor looking to take your investing to the next level, I've created an ebook just for you, available on our website. This ebook will cover how I was able to create both active and passive income in real estate with very little money to start with. In it, I will address the 3 most often cited obstacles new and veteran investors run into by showing you how to find deals that are actually deals, how to finance a deal with little to no money down, and how to exit those deals for maximum value. And if you get the ebook today, I am throwing in a bundle of bonuses, 7 of them to be exact. The first one will be the off-market lead generation blueprint, which will take you through the exact systems and processes we use to generate off-market leads like clockwork, which is the most important skill when it comes to creating wealth in real estate. The second bonus is the A to Z REI systems and vendors guide, which will allow you to peek under the hood of our business and see the exact tools, systems, and even the vendors we use to see the success that we do. And the third bonus is the top 100 best performing keywords pack, which will give you the exact keywords we use to target motivated sellers online using PPC ads. The fourth bonus is our contracts bundle for wholesaling and renting real estate, which will give you access to all the contracts we use in the field to execute all different types of transactions. After that is the Investors Quick Analysis Calculator and Offer Tool, which will allow you to quickly calculate whether a deal is an actual deal and will allow you to create an offer automatically from those calculations. This is a lot of bonuses that I said. I'm just going to keep going down the list. Number 6 is the Investors Daily Success Tracker, which is a tracker you can use to ensure you are taking the right actions day in and day out to reach your financial goals in real estate. And the last bonus is the Wholesalers Template for Quick Assignment Cash, which will give you the templates we use to present our wholesale deals professionally and efficiently to our buyers. Whew, that is a bundle. So it's a mouthful. You get all of those bonuses for free when you download the ebook. All we charge is the admin cost to run the show. So if you're interested in the ebook and the bonus bundle, head on over to the website at therealestateinvestingclub.com. Click on Get the Ebook Bundle at the top of the page to take advantage of that deal. And with that said, I hope you have a fantastic day, an even better week. Keep rocking real estate, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.